Welcome back to the last session of the day on the PC Gamer Weekender live stream. I am here with Brent and Nathan from Behavior Interactive. We're here to talk about Warhammer 40,000 Eternal Crusade. Guys, you've been like manning your booth all day, right? With people coming and going. How's it been? Like,
it's been fantastic. It's been great to see that seats are all filled. And also that the feedback, because we've been gathering feedback of those that are actually playing, and it's been overwhelmingly good too.
Yeah.
And what we're looking for too is also like brand recognition in terms of were people aware of the game to begin with or not.
For sure.
And we've been pleasantly surprised that we are fresh, so we can get a fresh message out instead of like we actually started 3 years ago, so now we're actually starting a marketing campaign, and we can have a good, strong message based on actually where we are with the game itself and what it's going to be. And then, of course, we are now in early access, so they're actually just playing the early access game here at the show floor. So
on live servers?
Yes.
Huh.
And
awesome.
Some of them are actually pretty good, and some of them have had a lesser experience, but they still had fun.
Awesome. It's interesting because we mentioned earlier when we were just speaking that there's a lot of Warhammer here.
Yes.
Like we have Total War Warhammer, and even Dawn of War 2 is here.
Yes.
Do you have like Warhammer fans going like, oh, huh? Like I just wandered out of the Total War Fantasy Warhammer Fantasy demo, and then the 40k is here as well.
Yes. Well, that is actually a big part of the experience of where you see like, whoa, I didn't really know this was actually happening, right? Yeah. And I think that being Warhammer game number 13 on the show, number 3.
Yeah, number 3. Which is not that much of a,
No, I mean we had a session on the stage earlier, and we made the joke of like we're called like Total War of Dawn.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that. I mean, there's a lot of Warhammer games coming out, but what Games Workshop has been really good at is actually segmenting us up so that we are not overlapping in terms of genre and gameplay.
Right.
So, I mean, what we are is a mix between like an MMO and a third-person shooter. So, like we just say massively online shooter because we're not a full MMO. And as a third-person shooter, it's not really the same experience as a more competitive or more accurate first-person shooter, right? So we're kind of alone in that area, with a couple of actually smaller indies which are based on Space Hulk, for example, and I think that. Just based on the last 6 months and how we've been talking together as licensors of any of the Warhammer brands, I mean, there's no hostility between us.
Right.
We're actually always, all of us are waiting for each other's game, right? So I think that maybe, of course, I think that maybe an RTS and an RTS with the strategic layer, like Total War versus Dawn of War, they might be closer to each other, but there's not really anything that's closer to us.
Right.
And I mean, there was once something called Dark Millennium Online.
I remember. Yeah.
Yes, but we're not like that.
Right.
No.
To find out where you are, like, why don't we just take a look? We're going to jump into some gameplay.
We should.
I am loading it up right now.
You were just kicked for inactivity,
I was
Brent.
actually, yeah.
We were so ready to jump directly into a match.
I should have done the loading while you were waiting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
like
we'll
we
just
promised.
look at our beautiful
We
faces.
should just pretend like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
We can, however, we can probably cut to the game now, right? We can do that.
Yes, you can.
Awesome.
Yes, we can. Yes, absolutely.
It's a feature. If someone stands around doing nothing, not contributing to their team, they will get kicked. That's a good thing.
So now's the time to not stand around doing nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to save my friend here. Before I get shot in the back by a Stormbolter. Oh, here it comes.
Okay, so
this is the basic character. He's the trader. I'm on the Chaos side because usually we can get more. Usually we can get slot in with the Chaos more. The Space Marines, everybody's always queuing up for them.
right.
And right now in early access.
Oh no.
Right now in early access, what you have is basically 2 factions of the 4 factions that are going to be in the game. The next one that are coming in, besides the Space Marines and Chaos Space Marines, is Eldar,
Right.
which actually haven't been in a playable shooter before ever. And
What's the game called Fire? No, hang on. I will contradict you. I believe you.
You might be thinking of the Tau shooter.
yeah,
That was
the Tau.
Tau. Sorry,
yeah,
I
that
get-
was
I get-
Tau. Yes.
I get my space elves mixed up.
Spawned right next to
Yes.
a rhino that was blasting me in the head.
And then of course we have orcs
with
coming
sorcerers,
afterwards. The problem with the orcs, which is going into mocap, motion capture, actually in 2 weeks, is that it's difficult to find orcs on Earth. We've been searching for a long time,
Yeah.
but I think we found something.
For it.
Eldar were easier. Like
Right.
you just have to have a very tall woman, and that's just perfect.
What's happening here? What?
Well, I'm healing this guy. I picked
Yeah,
the
he's healing
sorcerer.
him. Yeah.
Because that way
cool.
I can always heal myself in case that happens again. But since I'm on the Chaos side, the Chaos guys, unlike the Space Marines, are using psychic powers much more regularly. So when I'm healing this guy, I can do it from a distance. I also have other powers, like I can if I find a dude, I can do a sort of debuff on the enemy that will cause him to take more damage. So it's a really good pairing with like a sniper rifle type of character.
Right.
Yes, and this is basically what comes after the factions, is that we have 5 sub-factions under each of the factions, which is different
Save
between,
me.
so Chaos has 5 sub-factions that have their unique traits and abilities actually through character advancement, but we're also class-based. So we're squad-based in terms of that you're always part of a squad, and secondly you're class-based, so that you're anything from the trader over to the Raptor. What are you gonna?
I'm gonna grab a tank this time.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm sick.
Yeah, I noticed you've been dying a little bit,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
maybe it's time to.
And we
Spawned
also
onto the,
have of
small
course
map.
vehicles.
Cool.
Yes. I mean, driving around and hitting people with the tank is,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's worth saying as well, to reiterate for the
Yes.
for the stream, that this is occurring live on a live server.
Yes.
So
Yes.
whoever is shooting you, Brent,
Oh
is
crap! It's a predator.
Yes.
they're
I mean,
They're
it's
moving.
still like so where we're playing is early access on Steam.
yep.
It's still an alpha version of the game.
Yes.
It's pretty smooth, and I mean, everybody seems happy with it too. In terms of that, I mean, I think we're 8 out of 10 right now. In terms of user reviews, so
Right.
that's, I mean, we're ecstatic over that because we're in alpha and we have so much more to do.
Yeah.
But the reason that we are in early access is not for the cash. I mean, if you buy an early access package, you're buying the game at a discount. That's
Right.
it, right? The reason that we are in early access is because we want and we need, as part of our philosophy of making games, the feedback and the participation of everybody that's playing in the direction of the game and what to do next, and iterate, and we take the feedback and the data and everything, and that pretty much determines what we do next and what we tune and how we balance. And that's been the key to actually finding the fun in the shooter itself. I mean, our surveys, I mean, it have, like the reception there has been fantastic too. But I mean, you see that we're not quite there with everything in terms of encouraging, for example, squads to work together. But what's going to happen there is that squads will actually get more XP because we're not into the kill-death ratio kind of thing.
Right.
We're much more into the XP. And if you're working together as a squad and you're close together with your squad mates and everything like that, you will actually get more XP. So it's, I mean, we will be encouraging actually team play because we are squad-based.
Right.
And then, of course, on top of all this, the MMO element is being added right now as we speak, which is that we have territorial control on top of this. So imagine that the outcome of this game is actually going to affect a larger strategic map of the planet itself.
Nice. Oh no. Brent, this isn't going well.
I know, this is terribly embarrassing. You see?
Yes. So you see that our lead game designer is terrible at the game. This is.
You don't have to be good at something to design it. I've always
That's
believed
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, he says this all the time.
That's right. right, I'm going to play somebody a little more conservative this time.
We had talked about those like loadout names, right?
Crap.
Sky
Space Marines
Sky
everywhere.
Fisto.
I'm not asking the questions.
No.
If you want
right.
to talk about it,
There.
that's your prerogative.
Yes. Sorry about that.
That's all right. No worries.
Yes.
There we go. I'm just going to take the Stormbolter
so-
on the Rhino and cheat.
It's because of the weapon itself, the Power Fist.
So when you talk about the MMO element, you're talking about,
Yes.
I guess, like a metagame strategic layer.
Yes.
What benefits does success at that layer confer on a player? Like, why would you want your side to be doing well?
You have a number of things actually happening there. Well, one is that the four factions are really battling for control over territory.
Okay.
So there are campaigns, which I would say right now would be probably on a 2-week cycle, which gives each of the factions different objectives to achieve over those 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Whether that's attacking a specific faction or doing a certain amount of PvE, like cleansing out Tyranids from their territory, because we make the campaigns based on actually what happens before. So there's a certain player outcome that actually drives the next campaign after
Interesting.
that.
Okay.
So we have that high-level campaign, which actually is giving purpose and actually is part of the storyline that drives all the campaigns and what happens on the planet forward. But also within the campaigns, of course, there are goals and achievements for the players themselves to achieve, right?
Yeah.
It's not just factional part where you as a faction have to take over territory or kill Tyranids. It's also just for you that you have to, or not have to, you can, if you go through 5 sessions of actually clearing out Tyranids in this territory, you will get a lot more XP because there's an infestation of Tyranids there. So a campaign is actually ranging from the faction level to all the way down to the player level in terms of goals and objectives.
That makes sense.
And that will then, of course, give them after the campaign, depending on how they actually have contributed, rewards as such. I mean, from an MMO aspect, I mean, we have rewards and we have loot and everything. We have visual customization. It's even the vehicles can be customized with personalized loadouts. So when you spawn a vehicle, you jump into it and control it.
It looks like your tank.
And it will have stuff that you can actually gain through actually your character progression.
Right, I see.
And also, of course, we have the basic classes. For example, they have 5 classes right now, and
you took a fire to a gunfight.
Yes.
I think there.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the
Exactly.
wrong weapon.
Yeah.
And with
Melton needs to get close for fans of the tabletop.
yes,
Oh, he's going to.
and we have on top of those 5 classes.
Oh no.
Oh yes, we have executions, by the way.
I see. That.
But he's actually an apothecary there, so he's supposed to be helping.
I think don't they take an oath?
Yes, exactly. It's like except
Oath to
he.
destroy chaos.
Oh, now he's going to be Poison Man.
Yeah,
Poison Man.
Yeah, he's a
That's a
sorcerer
loadout name.
that's distributing poison.
So, I have a question. It might sound like a stupid question.
Yes.
How does a man wearing shoulder pads the same size as his torso roll around on the ground?
Well, you see, the power armor, due to the implants that they've had, is actually integrated with them, so they're more agile and more.
Then they look, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They can jump super far. They can roll about.
Yes.
We have a full sort of cover system that you can take use of, so that they can crouch behind cover, peek over, all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, shoulder pads, they've been around for a long time. I mean, all the way back to the 80s, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So this is just, in our eyes, it's
problems
just,
we overcame as a civilization 20 years ago.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I mean, when I say it's from the 80s and 90s, it's still around in 2016 in some locations.
And in the year 40,000.
Yes, in the year 40,000. I mean, they say fashion, goes in cycles and repeats itself. So here we have shoulder pads again.
Was it refreshing making the Eldar not because you don't have to worry about shoulder pads?
Yes, for sure. It is so nice to be able to have something that can actually fit under a 1.5 meter wall. That's a big. We also got to take out the wire work during the mocap for that, so they can do awesome flips or fly in the air for certain characters.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, really
Yeah, but
cool.
I mean, also in terms of mocap, not just shoulder pads. How do you really, make a guy with all that heavy shit of them actually look heavy and moving around, but he
Yeah,
can still
for sure.
roll around and stuff like that. It's
Get up, Qatar.
it's been a challenge making it actually look like they actually are heavy yet agile. And
I'm sorry, man.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
I was
a
going to. So,
predator
I mean,
over there.
I guess that's kind of a silly question, but like, more seriously, you're building a competitive game within a universe that has, an existing competitive form, let's say, in terms of the miniatures game. And it's also different, different groups of developers have come at Warhammer 40k from different
Yes.
angles in the past.
Yes.
Obviously, this is new.
Yes.
But like, do you come at these weapons, these characters, these abilities from scratch and build a game around them? Do you have like an idea of what a good multiplayer shooter is that you then fit Warhammer 2? Like, how, what is the challenge of building? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it has to be a game, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, basically, like, our goal is to make a good multiplayer shooter that feels like you expect from the tabletop or the lore.
Right.
So basically, like, we're coming at it from a perspective that it's armies that are fighting each other, not individuals. So, like, our balance is on a per faction basis, not like this guy always needs to be able to beat this guy, that sort of thing. Whoa!
You're
we
being
don't even
stabbed in the
want-
face there.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna kick him. Oh, he's gonna kick me.
No one
Guy's
sword
pretty
him.
good. Oh. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I get for trying to explain things while fighting. This happens all the time.
that's his usual excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't explain while I'm fighting,
Right.
so
Yeah.
that's why I die all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
In the grim darkness of the far future, there are very few explanations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, we're trying to make a side that feels like it does in the tabletop. We're trying to give them, encourage them to take units that feel like it. So, for example, on the Space Marine side, you have the tactical Marine, who you frequently use the bolt gun. So we're balancing it so that the bolt gun feels like the sturdiest thing you can take, and a player will be encouraged to use the bolt gun whenever possible. The other weapons are more specialty. But that tactical Marine is the only guy who can capture points, and so you want to have all the other classes sort of escort him to where they're going. Meanwhile, on the Chaos side, we have two characters that can capture points. That's the Trader and the Trader Assault, one of which is a melee character and one of which is a ranged character like the tactical. And that's because what you expect to see from the lore is that the Chaos are much more melee focused, and they're always carrying around their chainswords, chain axes, and that sort of thing. So by sort of encouraging rather than restricting the players, we're trying to create factions that feel more like Warhammer fans would expect.
Right.
Yeah, and it's also like, and to emphasize what he said, it's about balancing the factions as a whole, so that you sure you will see some classes which are similar over those factions, but they are totally asymmetrically balanced within themselves.
Right.
I mean, the Eldar will actually have 7 classes in total.
Because that fits more
Yeah.
with how it works, but each class
Yes.
is much more restricted.
Yes.
Right. I see.
So, it's I think, I mean, you said this before, which is I love as a description, which is, yes, we're using and are in the Warhammer 40k universe. We're taking inspiration from the tabletop, but we're really taking the 40k universe and making a third-person shooter out of it.
Right. That makes sense.
And the things, maybe the biggest things that you will see in the game, besides, of course, everything, the lore and the stereotypical classes and weapons and everything, which we take directly from the universe, is that when you're doing your personalized loadout, that's almost the same as actually when you're actually making an army list in the tabletop game.
Right.
So
You're spending points,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're
Yeah,
spending points,
exactly.
and I mean, depending on whether it's master crafted or relic or like different rarity and epicness of weapon, they can either cost less points or they can be more powerful and also so I mean,
I was so sure when you had a tank. I was like, "This is the time.
Yeah.
This is the kill streak. It's coming."
The thing is that, like, our tanks are not meant for one person, and of course I was doing exactly that right
Yes.
there. Like, the driver can't actually control the turret. Instead, he needs other people to come in
Okay, yeah.
and help him.
Yeah.
So a good predator would actually have 5 people rolling around in it. They could control the 2 side sponsons, and they could control not only the main turret, but there's even a storm bolter on top of that
Yeah,
turret.
of course,
'Cause that's
yeah.
40k,
Right.
guns on guns, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
Smaller guns riding guns that are
Yeah.
themselves a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's an excellent explanation. And I mean, like Brent said earlier when we were on stage, it's like we're trying to make a social experience.
Yes.
It's like,
I think there's a saying about what there is in the future that maybe.
Yeah, you want to roll with your friends. That's what people want from their 40k.
I mean,
Battle Brothers.
saying that there's only war in the future,
Thank
it
you.
doesn't mean that you can't be friends.
See, I said thank you.
Battle
The war.
friendship.
Yeah,
what chaos
battle
does.
friendship.
I don't think that's canon.
Battle
No.
Brothers.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy's got a heavy bolter. Those guys can suppress you.
So, we're coming up on time.
Yes.
I know the game is in early access right now.
Yes.
Presumably it will stay that way as you guys work on it and polish
Yes.
it and so on.
Yep.
How do people find out more, get involved? Obviously, if they're here, they can come and play it, but
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So I mean,
where do they find you?
EternalCrusade.com is where we are with our community part, but
Nice.
the information about the game itself is on Steam Early Access. That's
Right.
where you get basically an overview of the game itself in a pretty succinct manner, and also you'll see the Early Access offer and the 12 pre-order weapons and all that stuff that you actually get there
wait.
too.
I should be
So
captured.
I mean, if you just want to see the quick overview, a couple of videos, we even have a streamer, Soren the Bear, actually doing a 15-minute like a gameplay. And I know. I know.
This is the perfect image to end this, gameplay demo
it's
on,
like-
I think.
Yeah, that's definitely a good
Again,
idea.
you were explaining something, right? And that's why you died.
That's correct.
He was actually completely silent. You
know.
were explaining. It's actually if there's an explanation happening in a radius around him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is a new one. We can use this.
No, it's because my fingers are so cold. That's why. Can't click very well.
The event heating burn.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, fine.
Oh,
Well,
my fingers.
that's where we're going
My
with
fingers.
this. Okay,
My fingers, yes.
guys, it was absolutely a pleasure to have you on the stream.
Yes, thank
Pleasure.
you.
Thank you for joining. I hope the rest of your show
you
goes
for
well.
having
Yeah, like, enjoy the rest of the show. Hope people continue to enjoy the game.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Awesome. We will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. at British time, GMT.